So at the start of my channel, I have been nothing but critical on flat rate. And with that being said, I have attracted some flat rate defenders, and their rebuttals are pretty much what you expect. Weak. I make over 100K a year. You must be lazy. And so on and so forth. Well, seasoned techs with IQs higher than room temperature know that they're pretty much talking out of their you-know-what. I've worked for dealerships and I've worked for fleets, and let me tell you, it's a no-brainer when it comes to the comparison. Fleet kills dealerships every single day, and I'm about to tell you why. But first, if you're new to this channel, well, welcome. We're close to hitting 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which I didn't think was even possible. But we've had a slew of new subscribers in the past couple of weeks, and I'm really excited and really thankful that you guys joined aboard. If you're not familiar with this channel, we talk automotive content. We talk about the industry, we mess around with cars, and we just crack jokes. It's a good channel, and I'd love for this to just blow up and be the next hot thing. You guys can help me, and I'd really appreciate that. So like and subscribe, and let's get on to the video. Okay, so let's first establish what flat rate is. I mean, I'm attacking the dealerships here because I don't know of a single dealership that doesn't do flat rate, and it's for their own good. Trust me, dealerships don't do flat rate because of you. They do flat rate to save themselves. That's why, and this is a big thing, is they charge what, $200, $250 an hour, just give an example, hourly labor rate to the customer, and you get what, maybe $40 an hour if you're lucky? That's a pretty gross percentage rate, if you ask me. Now, granted, I'm not stupid. A lot has to go into that. They have to pay their service advisors, they have to pay salesmen, they have to keep the lights on. I get that. But just labor rate? I mean, remember, when you buy parts from them, they make money on the parts. So what I'm trying to say is that percentage of hourly labor rate isn't doing the mechanic any justice. On top of that, like one of my last videos, I talk about how dealerships are purposely shortening the labor times on things, especially warranty times. And they make it seem like they're helping the technician when it's just really screwing them in the end. And it's kind of a known fact at this point that flat rate breeds laziness and scamming. See, regardless of you getting paid by the hour, you have a quota to meet. That 40 hours by the end of the week to keep your paycheck healthy and your boss off your back. Because if you make 38, you don't want to see that, man. He's going to think you're the worst thing ever. Such a lazy individual. And I guess that's where that mindset kind of grows. So you're fighting the time, literally fighting the time for a paycheck. You're breaking your back, you're cutting corners. And granted, not all flat rate technicians are like this. I'd just be careful the ones that brag about their paycheck and how many hours they made, and then belittle anyone that criticizes flat rate because it's a flawed system. Those are probably the scammers. On top of that, dealerships are just a revolving toxic door of people coming and going. And it's because no one retires from a dealership anymore. No one does a 40-year service with a pension, 401k, and retires nice on an island somewhere in the Caribbean. No, nobody does that anymore. Nobody can do that anymore. Those days are long gone and over. These poor technicians are retiring from dealerships just banking to live on Social Security with enough to just get by until their last day. And it's sad. Such a useful skill, and it's more in high demand than ever. And this is how we treat people that work on each one of our cars. But there's hope, and good hope too. Introducing fleet work. And real quick, no job is without their problems, right? But I can say from working in a fleet for 10 years with a couple of fleets, I have had probably the best time I ever had as a mechanic. And I'll explain why right now. One, fleet doesn't do flat rate, at least the ones I work for. I work for pretty big fleets, utility companies. They want you on hourly because they don't necessarily care how long it takes to fix the vehicle. They want it done right because the public eye is on them. Right? You're working for a utility and a bucket truck rolls down the road and a 200-pound tire just comes flying off and kills a family of 6. Yeah, you're getting fired, but now the company is getting sued. A company that's always on someone's radar, especially when the power goes out. Because trust me, you can't get those lights on fast enough. There's a big safety culture that's backed by usually a big union that doesn't take any BS for an answer. Matter of fact, I remember one of my days in orientation, first day I worked for this company, a bunch of these higher ups come in and they're like, oh, we're excited to have you working. Thank you for choosing us. We can't wait to have you build a good career here. Then the final person that comes in is the union rep, and this is literally what he does. This company doesn't give a Translating safe for YouTube, he said, this company doesn't really care about you. And whether he was right or wrong, the union actually did a very good job on backing you up when your back was against the wall. But let's talk about pay. The reason why anyone works. Fleet makes around 40 to 50 an hour, depending on where you are. I have easily worked in a fleet making 40 hours, and those are consistent hours. Those are, I'm taking this number home every week, every 2 weeks, doesn't matter. I don't care if I spent all week taking out an oil pan because of a strip bolt. I'm getting paid for it. And the company necessarily doesn't care because they want the job done right. Once again, the public eye is on them. And if you screw up that drain bolt, that oil pan job, and about 20 quarts of diesel oil just comes slewing down the road, oh, look at this, the utility company's just littering toxic oil everywhere. Yeah, they don't want that. Do it right. That's all they care about. And you'll get paid. On top of that, overtime is usually very plentiful in a lot of fleets. Maybe things have changed. Like I said, it all depends on where you're working. But I've worked with guys that are comfortably, and I'm saying comfortably, taking home $100,000 every year. And let's talk about benefits, because the dealership barely has any. They had a 401k. They had a pension. They had a company stock program. They had city incentives, because I worked for a big city. They had city incentives where you work for the utility company, you can get into this museum, you get into this zoo, for free. And you can bring people with you. You can bring your family to the zoo for free on your day off. And let's talk about days off, because you get a lot of them. Usually when I started off, was this back in 2016? The next year so I think I started in March, and in the turn of the next year, I got 2 weeks paid vacation off. Guys on the cusp of retirement had about 6 weeks off. Oh yeah, and by the way, on that 401k thing, yeah, it's numbers matching too. On top of that, you want to travel for free? You get to. With utility companies, they do this thing called mutual aid. That's if a hurricane hits or a major blizzard happens or something natural disaster happens where this one grid needs a bunch of hands on deck. The government will fund and send utilities from outside the network, and you get paid real good. When I was in Florida, I didn't travel much to do the mutual aid because the hurricanes kept coming at us. But I would be on storm, and it would be like 16-hour days, mostly of doing not much, and you paid double time. No, you paid time and a half. That's right, time and a half. And then double on Sunday if you needed to stay like the 7 day. I remember coming home after doing like 2 weeks of it with a pretty damn stacked paycheck. I think it was like over 10 grand after tax. And when I worked for the other utilities, I remember, this was way before my time, but hearing stories of people that went to assist in Hurricane Katrina. They were there for a very long time and said some came back with like a $26,000 paycheck. I don't know how true it is. That is word of mouth. They were staying there for months, and some utilities pay better when you go away than others. Hey, I mean, how could you beat that? A month's paycheck is about 26 grand. Why don't you turn those numbers, flat rate guy? I remember the best position I was in working at a fleet was from a 2 to 10:30 evening shift. This is when all the crews went home and all the vehicles were just left ready to go. There was a skeleton crew of maybe less than 10 people. It was a smaller yard I was working out of too. And we just did PMs all day. That was our job. The crews are gone. They're done for the day. So now you have their vehicle. Just do the PMs that are scheduled each month. And the supervisor was like there till maybe 4 and he went home. So you had a shop. It was a small shop. So it was me and then like 2 other people just working unabated, not being bothered by anybody. Maybe, one of the crews that were out there and needed a tire change. It was so easygoing, and I was getting paid the same thing. Actually, I think I was getting paid a little bit more because it was on night shift. But anyway, I was getting paid pretty much the same thing the day guys were paying. It was close to like 40 an hour. Now, this comes with a little bit of a caveat, right? You're getting something that good, well, you're gonna have to work for it. Applying to these jobs took a couple months. And you go through a lot of background checks, you go through a lot of competency tests, in-person interviews, in-person diagrams and stuff. They had like a whole electrical board and they wanted you to diagnose pinouts and stuff like that. So you can't just say you're a mechanic like you are in some dealerships and then just skate on by. They want you to be good and they want you to be safe. I talked about it before, but safety is a huge thing. That's why they don't care how long the truck takes, as long as if you fix the truck correctly and you don't hurt yourself. Compare all those benefits to a pizza party at the end of the month for a dealership because you guys made the boss happy and got him a new yacht. It's simply why I will never work at a dealership again. It makes no sense. So if you guys are frustrated and just flustered and just annoyed and feel like there is no way to go, you're stuck in this dealership life, there is always a way out. And I'm telling you, a major fleet like a utility company is definitely the way to go. Retire young, retire with your health, and just getting a solid paycheck every week. Like, who doesn't want that? It's a good paycheck. Don't listen to these flat rate people. They don't know what they're talking about. They're delusional. They're borderline sadistic. You can make a good living in this career if you still want to tough it out and work on these newer cars. But until then, I guess you'll just have to find out. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm signing out, and I'll see you in the next one.